What's poppin', internet? Welcome to another episode of the Synced Up Podcast, a show where we talk about news, games, and we sandwich a little fun in between. I'm your host, Timothy DeRoe, and joining me this week is your boy, number one Nintendo fan, Michael Clare. How you doing on this fine Sunday?
Not number one Nintendo fan today.
Not number one? Not number one?
This month.
Why not?
Oh, you know why.
Yeah, I do know why. I think the majority of the people know why. Nintendo's killing Melee. But we're not talking about that today. Today we're going to talk about Fortnite possibly taking the title away from Smash Bros. As the biggest crossover event in history. Game Awards news and also Immortals Fenyx Rising review roundups. But before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping for you. We are on YouTube now, so if you're listening in your favorite podcasting feed and you want to put some faces to some voices, you can go over to youtube.com/synceduppodcast. To find the video feed over there. We also have impressions content. Just this last Tuesday, we had an impressions video for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity go up. You can go over there and check that out if you want. Also on Friday, don't take my word for it, but on Friday, there should be, if everything goes according to plan, a Cyberpunk 2077 impressions video up in the YouTube feed over there. But if you're not into that YouTube stuff and you're on YouTube and you're tired of being on YouTube, you can go over to your favorite podcasting feed, whatever that may be, even though Spotify was a little iffy this week.
Spotify weird.
We don't know why. Sorry to you Spotify listeners. Everything was green light go, but apparently just this episode this last week did not go up on Spotify, and we have no clue why. But you can go over to your favorite podcasting service, search up Synced Up Podcast, look for the blue and white logo, and new episodes go up in both of those feeds at 7 a.m. Central Time Zone. Gang. You can also write into the show at synceduppod@gmail.com to get your questions, comments, or concerns read on the show, just like Fielding Dahmer did, Lyle from Melbourne, Australia, Trey Blackburn, the classic, all the people. We got some good emails from them on the back end of the show that we're going to go over. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at synceduppod to keep up to date with all of our content. And also, if you're here from the recent, well, I guess not so recent anymore, MinMax podcast promotion that we did over there, thank you for coming over here. And if you're here from the first one and you're still here 4 weeks later, we very much appreciate you.
Thank you.
Our listeners are very much up. I think we have roughly 100 to 120 to 130, depending if you count all the places. People that totally listen to the show between the video version and the audio version.
Yeah.
It's different every week because the video version fluctuates a bit. The audio version is a little more consistent, but just depends on what you're looking at. But thank you so very much for coming over here, and I hope you enjoy what you hear or watch. So let's just get right into the news here. So Fortnite is possibly the biggest crossover event in history because this week, if you didn't know, Fortnite had a new season launch this past week, and with it came a slew of new skins. Among them were God of War's Kratos, Halo's Master Chief, and the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Were originally leaked, actually.
Yeah, I feel like I've known about the Mandalorian one for like.
Yeah, if you can bring up those skins,
now.
Jordan, they actually look pretty cool. Bring them up in Google. Yeah. So we got Kratos, Master Chief, the Mandalorian, and I think Baby Yoda's like a little pet thing or something that do with his taunt.
Stays around with him.
But man, they looking clean. They are looking clean.
Oh yeah, the Mandalorian looks super good. I haven't seen the Master Chief one. I saw Kratos. Like yeah, they look really good.
Yeah, Kratos playing the what is that? What's that?
Flute?
No, it's not the flute. What's that instrument? Saxophone. Yeah, Fortnite.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in the Fortnite doing the little saxophone thing. It's kind of weird seeing Kratos do weird Fortnite dances, but it's cool. I think it was super unexpected for Kratos to get added to Fortnite.
Well, I mean, this whole list. I mean, Mandalorian kind of, makes sense because that's not like a huge gaming IP.
No. Kratos and Master Chief
exciting.
Made sense, but you just didn't think you'd ever see it.
No, yeah.
You didn't think you would ever see it.
If you were to tell me you were going to bring some people over from, Sony and Microsoft, those are up there.
Yeah, 100%. Let me see what they look like. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Finding all three in the same image because they came out at different times.
Yeah.
And they were leaked. They were leaked separately.
Has Master Chief been announced already?
Yeah, Master Chief I think is like officially announced now.
Okay.
Or maybe in the game already.
Because I know Kratos was announced recently.
Yeah, we're not in the Fortnite. We don't play it, but we keep up to date with news and shit. So, but I don't think maybe Master Chief's out already. I know Kratos is out.
So while he's bringing that up, so apparently there's speculation of a Nintendo related skin.
I don't know if it's speculation more.
Is it just people talking about it?
Yeah, because it's like you got your Xbox, you got your Sony exclusives with Master Chief,
and
Kratos.
It's on Switch, so it's not like they'd be giving them an IP.
And so the current talk around it obviously is Samus Aran as the skin.
Is that who you would champion?
It's the only one that makes sense.
Waluigi.
Master Chief's not out yet. Okay. So Waluigi What's happening? Did you figure it out? We good?
You don't have to actually put any mental thought into talking about Waluigi.
I'm thinking about what Waluigi would look like. Jordan, what is happening? Please save me.
Link? Nah.
Huh?
Link's too short.
No, Link doesn't make a lot of sense either.
He could hack and slash with a Master Sword,
Nintendo,
though.
like, because Mario doesn't make any sense. No one from the Mario franchise makes any sense for a Fortnite skin. Samus Aran's the only one that makes sense, but that's because she's shooty. The Splatoon kids are Splatoon kids.
That'd be kind of cool.
And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Samus Aran's really the only one that makes any sense. So yeah, we got the Mandalorian. Yeah, he's looking clean. Oh, he does look nice. I watched a little bit of him in action. He's out.
I actually watched some Fortnite gameplay the other day, and it honestly looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you guys, Samus.
So
right there,
yeah,
Kratos and Chief.
Kratos and Chief. Samus is the current maybe.
Mm-hmm.
She's not in the leaks though, so they were leaked. Samus is not. She's just kind of being talked about.
That'd be really cool.
It would be really tight, but will Nintendo play ball? As of late, you've seen that they haven't really been on the train of playing ball with everyone else. And will they play ball with the Fortnite guys? Who knows? I don't know.
I don't have faith in them.
I don't have faith in
at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I really do. But yeah, generally, I think Samus Aran is the only one that makes any sense. But if there's a Nintendo thing, because you have to imagine that this Fortnite leak thing, because they shadow dropped it after the fact, was probably a Game Awards announcement.
Yeah.
And so
if
there's a Nintendo skin, you imagine we see it at the Game Awards. But we will see these people at the Game Awards here. The Game Awards announcers and some possible announcements from the show that's coming out on Thursday at 6:30 our time or 5:30 our time.
It actually might be 5:30.
I have no idea. We're Central Time, so they never shout us out in anything.
No, we gotta rep them.
We gotta hold ourselves down. But so we got some announcers that got announced, which is weird. So Nolan North, Troy Baker, Sydney Goodman. The usual suspects. These are the people you see there every year.
Big voice actors,
Sydney Goodman, IGN. She does the Daily Fix on Snapchat. If you're subscribed to that as well. These are the usual suspects. Reggie Fils-Aimé, also former Nintendo CEO, Nintendo of America CEO, or president of something. I can't remember, but
all around good guy.
Yeah, now doing something for GameStop right now. I don't know what he's doing, but he's also a usual suspect. I'm gonna go back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. Classic. Swedish Chef from the Muppets, also technically another usual suspect. We seen him last year, and I think the year before.
Well, no, we've seen the Muppets last year. Last year,
Swedish Chef was there. He was there next to the goose.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just Beaker and the guy whose head looks like a green cantaloupe.
Maybe. I could have swore the chef was there last year.
Regardless,
we always see the Muppets. Yeah, they're a classic.
They make an appearance.
Another usual suspect. Now on to the people who aren't usually there, and kind of some big gets if you ask me. Tom Holland announced to be an announcer at the Game Awards.
Makes sense. Maybe we'll see an Uncharted trailer.
Yeah, because he's in the Uncharted movie that's coming out at some point. Nobody knows. Also, he's kind of in the nerd culture. He plays as Spider-Man, obviously. Yeah. So that's a big get, though, if you ask me.
That is exciting.
Brie Larson, she doesn't have any video game-related stuff coming out.
But very recently, she's been
in the Animal Crossing.
And she's also been in the gamer culture for a little while now. There's also, speaking of Samus, everyone was champion a couple months ago for her to be Samus.
In some sort of movie or series. Yeah.
Really. So.
And she was like, I'd definitely be down for that. So she's kind of been reaching out into the gamer sphere. I don't know how we got her, but makes a lot of sense. It makes some sense for her. Gal Gadot, that's also
this makes no sense.
An incredible get. The only
I know why.
crossover is because she's obviously with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And Disney, or not Disney, that's HBO Max, but that's kind of in the nerd culture a little bit. I don't know how he pulled her, but
maybe Wonder Woman's going to be in.
Yeah.
Well,
some sort of announcement. I mean, Wonder Woman, you might be using this as a thing, as like a marketing.
I'd be weird if there wasn't some video game thing with it.
Yeah,
because there's always something. Like, but when they got the Fast and Furious team, it was because there was also a game. Even though.
But it was also supposed to come out with Fast 9, which didn't happen.
Yeah.
But this could be, you get Gal Gadot in there. She's like, hey, and Wonder Woman out December 25th on HBO Max. Classic stuff. This next one makes absolutely no damn sense to me.
Not at all.
Not even slightly. Stephen A. Smith. He works for ESPN. Is that ESPN that he works for?
Yeah.
The sports announcer. You imagine he's going to give.
He's a sports analyst, whatever you want to call him. I know him because on Twitter, the Stephen Smith burner account is one of the funniest accounts you can follow out there. And Stephen Smith memes are also phenomenal.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. You imagine he's going to give out the sports award for like best sports game or something. But himself, I don't think he has really any crossover with
I don't
video
know
games.
how they got him.
Unless they're using it to announce some sort of ESPN video game thing. I have no idea.
Sure. Or
This next one also doesn't make any sense, but I'm super for it. And that's because I watched Tenet. John David Washington. He stars in Tenet. He's obviously the lead there. That's Denzel Washington's son. Hopefully, and I think actually I was gonna say hopefully he can break out of the shadow of his father, but personally I think he already has with his role in Tenet. But
does the movie come out digitally the same day?
No, that's December 12th.
Okay, so a couple days after,
or maybe December 15th.
Because you always you gotta figure out what their
what the marketing beat is,
what they're selling. Yeah, when
because
they come on
they have to be doing something. You imagine.
Yeah.
And then they announced Eddie Vedder will be there performing as part of the musical act.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he will be playing Future Days, the song prominently featured in Last of Us 2. Throughout it's really throughout the entire game. So he will obviously. You imagine he's part of the thing where they show the nominations for Game of the Year and they have the orchestra play. You imagine he's there going to be playing the song from Last of Us 2. And then also he was on there teasing some stuff about Matrix 4. He tweeted out a video where he was grabbing a backpack with like an agent something, which is the guy from Matrix. I can't remember his name. And then he tweeted out a picture with the eyeball emoji that just said The Matrix 4. So there's some sort of Matrix announcement happening at the Game Awards.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's video game related.
Place for some of this. It feels like it's just becoming more of a just pop culture in general.
Yeah,
with the music and movies and.
Yeah, I don't know, but
maybe,
it's still
maybe
just.
We'll get advertisements for that stuff.
I have no idea. But do get excited for the Game Awards. What are some of the announcements you think we're gonna see at the Game Awards? Because I got a few things that I could think of.
I mean, Metroid 3.
What?
4.
Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah.
Nah, they started that game over.
I know, but like maybe they'll re-announce it.
They
ended at 3. Who knows?
They said, never mind. We're starting over. Y'all see this game in 5 years.
If we're being serious, Ragnarok.
Yeah, I think we could possibly see a trailer for God of War Ragnarok because it does has a release date of next year, but also at the same time, that's kind of like, I don't know, it just feels too soon, but also the release date of next year.
But also,
yeah,
they've got to have
I
something.
think we might see something for Breath of the Wild too. Nintendo's always been buddy with Jeff Keighley over the past few years with his announcements, or with them doing crossover announcements there.
Yep.
I don't know if we would, because I know that game doesn't have a date technically, but I think we could see some Breath of the Wild 2 stuff. I'm thinking... What else could we see? We could see some, what's the game? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Or Horizon Forbidden West. We could see a trailer for that. There's a lot of stuff that we could see. We could see stuff for. I imagine we see some indie games like Annapurna has a lot of stuff coming in the pipeline. 12 minutes. You got the Chucklefish games like Witchbrook. We might see some stuff for them. There's my burp. He always shows love to the indie games, but in terms of big stuff, I think we might see a few unexpected things.
What do you personally want?
I just want Breath of the Wild 2.
Okay.
Just the trailer for that. Just give me maybe even some gameplay a little bit. Give me a little more. Give me a little more to go on besides the out of temporal sequence trailer that you got to chop up to put it in the right order and stuff.
I don't know. Do they wait? Maybe because they got to start announcing, Zelda 35th anniversary stuff soon.
That's what they're doing.
So maybe that's how you lead into it.
Yeah. If they're doing that.
Well, they're gonna. There's no way they're gonna give Mario this treatment and then just not do anything for Zelda.
But they always do stuff that you never expect, like take everything away on March 31st.
Yeah.
Even
Fire
Emblem
I guess you're
stuff.
right, because the doing stuff you don't expect goes both ways.
Yeah.
It can be good or bad.
It could be good or bad. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what we'll see? But do get excited for the Game Awards. I don't think I'm gonna. I was thinking about streaming a live reactions to it, but I would much rather just watch it on the couch. And I don't think enough people would be watching us, so we're not going to do that, but we will be talking about it on that week's podcast, and we will recap the Game Awards if you don't have a spare 4 hours to watch it, because I know a lot of people don't. And he's come out of the gate this year saying, hey, it's going to be 4 hours. Last year he said it was going to be long. It went 4 hours. This year he said, hey, sit down, get ready for 4 hours of Game Awards. So, and I'm excited to see how they do it with COVID.
Yeah, if it's going to be just a lot of like Zoom meetings.
Yeah, and if they pull it off, because like if there's technical difficulties, like, Brie Larson was supposed to present this award, but her internet is messing up.
No, I feel like everything's just going to be pre-recorded. Nothing's going to be live.
Yeah,
right?
I guess that's possible.
Because I guess there usually is like some live stuff, which maybe there will be.
I mean, every year it's live.
I think if there is live stuff, it's just going to be on. Oh, I mean, I didn't finish it, but I meant like live tweeting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And polling or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just going to be live stuff on Jeff's end.
Where
like he's just doing live stuff and
sitting
then they
in
play
some
pre-recorded announcements from like Steven Smith.
I'm Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I can definitely see that. But until then, with what's coming out on the Game Awards announcements, and you're waiting for that, you might want to play Immortals Fenyx Rising. Who knows? We got a review roundup here for you. We got some mids, we got some highs. I got some personal thoughts on it that I will discuss right after this, before we get into this week in gaming section. But let's get right into it. So GameSpot gave it a 7 out of 10. Cyril Vasquez. Vasquez. I said that. It's just Vasquez.
No, it's Vasquez.
No, it's Vasquez.
Is it Vasquez?
100%. He's on the MinMax podcast. Come on, bro. The people who are listening and watching, they know, and I know because I listen and watch that podcast. So I can't make a.
I'm gonna just sit down.
Yeah, I can't make a slip up like that. But Cyril Vasquez, he reviewed it for GameSpot, gave it a 7 out of 10. He says, Immortals Fenyx Rising is far from perfect, but it is good. It stumbles frequently as it explores Greek myths through a new lens. Its best features are borrowed, and for as large and fun as its world is, it always feels like you're on a guided tour instead of really exploring it. But even as it lives in the shadow of better games, its puzzles, combat, and open world loop come together often enough for me not only to see it through a few dozen hours, but also want to keep filling out its almighty checklist, even if it led me by the nose most of the way through. Game Informer, Brian Shea, gave it a 9 out of 10. Quote, Immortals contains all the ingredients I want from an epic open-world adventure steeped in mythology. With empowering combat, rewarding exploration, and a story that shines a spotlight on its characters through humor, Immortals Fenyx Rising leverages its myriad inspirations to discover its own identity and deliver an outstanding open-world experience. That's high praise. IGN gave it a 7 out of 10. This is from Cam Shea. I wonder if there's any relation there. Immortals Fenyx Rising gives us a gorgeous world to explore, filled with mythological beasts, deities, and powers to wield. Its combat is satisfying, with plenty of choice and upgrades, while its central characters, comedic tone, and storytelling are a real highlight. Seeing Phoenix's saga through to the end, with amusing commentary from Zeus, Prometheus, and other gods along the way, is a treat. Its Achilles heel, though, is that so much of the puzzle gameplay feels like going through the motions instead of clever challenges. In the end, I wish Immortals Fenyx Rising had tried to soar just a little higher on the wings of ambition. So, you got some mids, you got some highs, some good things being said, some bad things being said. I think the majority of the rhetoric online about the negative of this game is how iterative it is on stuff that we've seen before recently. Obviously, elephant in the room, Breath of the Wild being the most obvious choice there. I mean, the first ability that you get in the game is a magnesis ability, pretty much, that is very similar
exactly the same.
Very similar.
The first time you used it, I was like, okay, that's blatant.
It's not. You know? It's not identical. You can't move and rotate and do all that stuff, but it is pretty damn close to magnesis.
At that point, it's even just a watered down version.
Yeah, not as good. Obviously, the climbing, the gliding, you have all the stuff, and I'm not saying Breath of the Wild was the first game to do these things, but it's impossible not to acknowledge the similarities, especially with the similarities in art style and all that kind of stuff. It really, it's really teetering on the edge there of copyright claim. But obviously, I do think Immortals Fenyx Rising stands alone. I've played 3 hours of it roughly. I've made it to the second area. I've done a few of the story beats. It is quite funny, I will say. That is a high point of it. I haven't really. It's filled to the brim with jokes, and there's some that don't land, but you move past them really quickly, and the ones that do land are quite funny. I know you were watching and it did like a pretend thing where you were like, oh, I didn't know this game was funny, and and it was quite funny. There's a lot of good jokes in there. And the puzzle, I have to disagree with Cam Shea here. I think the puzzle, at least from the puzzles I've done so far, I could play 20 more hours and end up being, hey, these puzzles are so similar.
I've seen some that make me kind of want to agree with that. Like, I saw you push a stone up a hill for like 30 seconds straight. Yeah. Just to get it to the top so you could open something. Yeah. I was like, oh, that looks kind of boring. Or there was the one where you were stuck and you couldn't figure out what to do with the arrow or whatever. And then there was that room with that. So there was a couple things I saw that I was like, that just doesn't seem intuitive or fun. Yeah, so.
I don't know. Some of them, there's been a couple that are just weird, but they're solved so quickly and easily that it doesn't really overstay its welcome, I think. But then again, I could end up 10 more hours into this game and be like, okay, dude, I've done this puzzle a million times. Yeah. So this is my very first impressions on the game itself. So I'm gonna have to disagree with him on the front end at least. But I do think it's a fun game. I think it's swimming in sevens. Honestly, it's swimming in sevens, but there's room for it. If you want a humorous game it's pretty fun, I do enjoy the combat. At first, I didn't. For the first hour, I was like, this combat is stale. But then you very quickly get a bunch of new abilities, and then the combat gets really good with the stagger meter and altering your abilities and making sure your stamina meter is up. It gets really fun. I'm playing it on easy because Cyberpunk comes out on Thursday, and I want to try to beat it. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I've heard you can run through it in like 12 to 15 hours if you kind of try to streamline it on an easier difficulty. So we're going to see how that goes. But all in all, I think it's a good game. I just don't think it stands tall amongst the incredible year we've had in gaming. So
Yeah. That when you think about all the other games you could be playing in this month alone, it's hard. Like it's no way it's even probably in the top 3 or 4.
Cyberpunk on Thursday. Valhalla just came out.
Miles Morales.
I will say it's better than Watch Dogs Legion.
That's true.
You know?
I don't even have to play it, and I know.
Yeah, better than Watch Dogs Legion. Anyone who watched the Impressions video knows how I feel about that damn game. But yeah, I do think it's good. Could be great, but not quite there. Just good. A good
filler game until Cyberpunk comes out.
Yep, that's it for the news this week. This is the first week ever, I think, where we've not read like literal articles. This is all just information put together by me.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not gonna. I mean, obviously, I copy and pasted these.
Yeah, but you don't want to edit that.
Yeah, so. No. So I'm not like this stuff I've typed through. All that I typed through. I just scroll through Twitter. So usually we have a bunch of articles that we read through, but we didn't this week, which was interesting.
I'm proud.
But Michael Clare, this next section of the podcast is the section of the podcast where we talk about this week in gaming.
That's true.
And we go through the historical releases, and you guessed it.
This week in gaming.
This week in gaming. You know, I like to repeat myself a lot when we get to this section. I tried to come up with a smooth transition, but then I was like, nah, I like it better where I just repeat everything over and over again. But let's get right into it. December 6th, I almost did it again.
Come on.
Mega Man Battle Network White 3 in 2002.
Please explain why this is on here.
Dude, I love this game. It was great. Are you kidding me? No, I've
never heard of this in my life.
Do you want me to pull
up
my
You don't have to. You can pull it up after.
Okay.
But like, why?
This is a great game. Okay, I had it on the Game Boy. We bought it at a garage sale. It didn't have a cover, but someone wrote Mega Man in Sharpie on it. Booted it up. It's Mega Man Battle Network White 3. The combat is really cool. It works on like this weird like card system. It's not cards, but you like input all your abilities into a thing, and then they like cycle through randomly. And you're on a 3 tall by 6 long grid, and the enemies are on this side and you're on this side, and each turn you can like do one of the things that you have like in your hand, and that's like move or hit an attack that hits the 2 grids in front of you, or do like a 3 grid, and the combat is like really cool. But I really liked running around the overworld and like the schoolyard and all that shit, and just going through that. And one time I got stuck in the zoo for like a year. And the reason I say a year is because like I just kept starting the game over, because I was a kid.
Yeah,
like
that's what you do when you're a kid. You just start it over.
You get stuck.
To the same point.
Yeah, you get stuck and you're like, but I want to keep playing, so you just start over. It turns out I just was a dumb kid, and the camera perspective just kept me from noticing you just have to go around. It was like one of those areas, you know, when you run into Snorlax and Pokemon, and you're like, how do I get past this? It's kind of like that. There's like a dude standing there. He's like, you can't get past. And you're like, what the hell? Turns out you just had to like walk around. But it's kind of like hidden, and I'm dumb. But I ended up beating that game once I became like 16 or 17.
I'm just curious if anybody else has played this game.
I doubt it.
Because we have like what? You said 100 people who probably watch the show. Please, somebody let me know if you've heard of this game, because I have never.
If anyone has played, loves, or hey, even if you hate Mega Man Battle Network White 3, let us know. Email in, comment, do whatever you got to do.
Just let me know if you're familiar,
because I love it. I love it. Mario Party 6 came out in 2004 on December 6th. On December 4th. Whoa, hold up.
6th.
Mario Party 6 came out on December 6th in 2004. Man, numbers are all over the place today. I don't have no memory of this. That's because all the Mario Parties blend together.
I will say, I'm one of those people that could not tell you the difference between like any of the numbered Mario Party games.
Like the recent ones.
Yeah.
And then it's just,
they all kind of meld.
Yeah, they all mesh. Yeah, 100%. Then you have the same day, KOTOR 2, Knights of the Old Republic. Iconic game. People love the KOTOR games. They want new ones. Will they ever get them?
Probably not.
Probably not. Dead Rising 4 came out in 2016, part of the Dead Rising series, just a classic.
Didn't play this one, did you?
Yeah, I did. I did. It's
an achievement score game in my mind.
Yeah, it's like this is a game that you play, and you don't really have that much fun, but you're doing it because your mom bought it for you with the $5 bargain bin.
It's the summer, it's July, and you've gone through all your good games.
Yep, and your mom was like, fine, we'll go to GameStop, but we'll only buy you stuff out of the $5
You got
bin.
3 used games for $10.
Yep, exactly. And you got to trade all your old shit too.
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks. And then also a year later, I included this in here. A lot of people might not know this one, but it was kind of a phenomenon. Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy in 2017.
This game was amazing for what it was
at
the time.
Just a game. You just move your mouse and you do exactly what the title says. You get over it.
Did you ever beat it?
Yes. And it took me an eternity.
I did not beat this game. This game was so hard. But
It took
I
me
loved
years. It took me years because I would get to the point where I'd get really far and then I would obviously fall back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Because there's like several sections towards the end where it's like if you fuck up, you're back to the front.
Yep.
And that game, I don't remember how long it is. Like if you're just playing casually, it's like a couple hours to get to the damn end.
If you're pretty good.
If you're just playing regular, but you could speed run it obviously. And
the speed run's like 3 minutes.
Yeah, like super fast. But damn, that game sucks when you fall back to the beginning. So that's why I say it takes me years because I would fall and then I'd be like, fuck this,
It
uninstall.
inspired like a whole genre of games where there's like Pogo Stuck, Jump King is the next most favorite one.
Hey, Kylie, can you give me a rag? I spilled water everywhere.
How'd you do that?
I don't know.
Quap.
Quap. Yeah.
Well, Quap was way before this.
Was it? I don't remember when Quap came out.
We were playing Quap in middle school. When did you start playing Quap? Oh God.
No, can't be tossing stuff. It's the
Quap was way
festive.
before. But no, those games where you can get to the top and end up all the way back on the bottom because of one mistake.
Yeah.
I think Jump King's maybe the second most popular one, but getting over it with Bennett Foddy, classic game.
That is a classic game. The next game we have for the next day, December 7th in 2004, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. You know, I would not. The only reason I include these Kingdom Hearts games in these recaps is this rag is terrible at drying stuff. There's still water all over his table.
Just use your shirt.
Is because of Trey.
Just take off your shirt and use it.
I'm not doing that.
Video viewers only.
Video viewers only. I don't want to.
We're gonna knock over a second cup.
I know. I don't want to subject the viewers to that. But Trey is the only reason I include these Kingdom Hearts games.
You know, I played them all too, right?
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't. I've never. You played this one?
I just haven't played it. Yes.
Chain of Memories.
Yeah, Chain of Memories
Thank
was
you,
on
Kylie.
the Game Boy.
Appreciate you. The Game Boy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was on the Game Boy Advance.
I 100%ed
Birth by Sleep.
Birth by Sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and then
I'm familiar.
And yeah.
Chain of Memories is actually a really good one. It's
Is it though?
much, yeah, it actually is. It's a kind of more strategy based. It's like a card game, and you have like a deck of cards.
That's like a classic.
Yeah.
A lot of those have that.
That's what I'm saying, and they're really good usually because it's just strategy instead of action based. But it's got the same story, same characters.
I just can't, man.
It's really good.
I just can't.
You did Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, I know, but that was because I had no games, and I borrowed it from Trey.
True, there was only like 3 games on the PSP for like 2 years.
2009 on December 7th, you have Legend of Zelda: Spirit Tracks. Still one of the few Zelda games I have not beat yet. Spirit Tracks. I want to get around to those, but I just I never do.
Neither do I.
And I put this in here because it's been 2 years since Smash Ultimate in 2018.
Nice.
2 whole years.
I hate you, Nintendo.
You're going to buy the next game.
Oh, yeah.
December 8th, there wasn't nothing of note that came out. And then December 9th, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone 2002 on the GameCube.
I couldn't tell you what Harry Potter game I played. Was it only this one?
It could have been this one.
Did they make?
I'm sure Chance knows exactly what this was and all the stuff because he loves these. But me personally, nah. I have no idea. But
I played one of them.
I played maybe several. Or maybe I just played one. Or maybe I played multiple and thought they were the same one. You know, it could be anything.
I don't know. This is lost in my memory.
I am excited for Hogwarts Legacy, but that's because Chance's hype bleeds over to my hype.
I feel like this is the only time I can bring this up. Last week when we had that moment where we were like the Blob and Mickey Mouse, I'm proud to say that there was at least one other person.
Oh yeah,
who unprompted had the same response.
Yes, we asked our boy Sal. We were chilling in the living room after the podcast. I don't know what we were doing. We were about to play Ticket to Ride or something. And yeah, Mike was like, "Hey, Sal, when you think of the game De Blob, what other game do you think of?" Now, keep in mind, Sal was not in the house when we did our episode, and no one said anything. Idea. We made sure we asked after the fact because I started freaking out, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And we said, "What do you think of when you think of De Blob?" And he was like, "The Mickey Mouse painting game." And we were like, "Oh my god, are you kidding me, dude?"
It's wild, man.
That had me shook. So yeah, there's a third person who thinks of those two games synonymously together for some weird reason. We don't know why.
That was a tangent.
Where am I at? Yeah. Infinity Blade in 2010 on December 9th. That's the classic iOS game. Did you play this?
I never played Infinity Blade.
Really?
I didn't have iOS.
What? It came out on Android too. Who made Infinity Blade? Because I'm pretty sure they're a notable studio now. Like they're either closed or they're a studio that's like, oh yeah.
Was this just like a go through dungeon and hack?
Have you never seen it either?
I think I know what it is.
They made like 8 of these. This was like the go-to mobile game of like this is the peak of mobile gaming.
Temple Run. Slow down.
No, I'm talking about graphical wise. Everyone was like, you can make a game look this good on the phone.
I'm trying to remember what game that was for me.
Share Entertainment. Yep. That's who published it or who developed it?
Sounds
what?
Very notable.
Who published it? Who? What? No, that's not notable at all. I don't. Well, maybe it is. I don't want people to come at me. Hold up, click them.
We
What
just
did they
lost
make?
20 fans. Thanks.
What did they make? Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Okay.
It's published by Epic.
That makes sense.
Okay, that's the notable thing that I
Makes
was
sense.
thinking of. December 10th, you have the original Doom on PC in 1993.
What a
Obviously, a
classic.
classic. A Birth of the Cat is distracting me.
Don't look at him.
It's hard not. Look, he's staring right
Don't
into
look at
my
him.
eyes.
Just look up.
Cat,
Just
don't
look up.
look away, cat. And December 11th, Twilight Princess in 2006, one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's somewhere in the top 10, top 15 range. Love that game. Played it on the Wii, and then played it on the Wii again, and then played it on the Wii again. Port this damn thing to Switch. That's
Sure,
really what
I
I'm
might
trying to
play
say.
it then.
I love this game. I love it so much. And then in 2009, on December 11th, you have the original Angry Birds. What a, birth of a lot of things.
Yeah.
The Angry Birds movie.
Which is, I've recently did a video over film and video games.
Mm-hmm.
And shockingly, Angry Birds 2 is the highest rated video game movie of all time.
Hey, I didn't watch Angry Birds 2, but the original Angry Birds movie is pretty good.
It's like number 6.
It's pretty good.
Like it goes Angry Birds and then it's Sonic, or no, Angry Birds, Detective Pikachu, and Sonic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's crazy that Angry Birds is the highest one.
Like the original or 2?
The 2.
Okay. I like the original. I want to watch the second one, but that first one was actually funny as shit, dude.
I think because my whole thing was like, what, we talk about why are these movies better, and it's just because they could do whatever the hell they wanted. Because there's no lore behind Angry Birds really.
No.
So do whatever you
Yeah.
want.
There's the story of the pigs take the thing,
Yep.
and it's not really that much of a story, so do whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. December 12th, you have Gang Beasts in 2017.
That game's still popping.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Like every time I feel like it only came out 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's such a good game, such a goofy game to play with your
For real.
to play with your friends. That's it for this week in gaming. I'd say it's an okay week. It's
What do you mean, bro? You had Mega Man Battle Network White 3.
Hey, that makes this a great week for me. But on to the game that we're going to play. Normally we play character 20 questions, but we're actually going to play the initials trivia that anyone who listens to the MinMax show, which is obviously a lot of you that listen to Better Quest, which might be some of you or all of you, will know that. Who was that? I wish I could shout him out. If someone can remember his name, comment him in the comment section below, please. Thank you. He came up with this trivia game with initials where he would say initials and then he would come up with like 5. I don't know if he come up with it or maybe it's a game that he played. I don't watch the video version. I'm audio only, so maybe he had it in the video. But there's initials, and those initials correspond to a person, character, place, or something. There's 5 of them that I've come up with.
I'm trying not to look at your phone, bro.
Okay,
Don't
and
throw
then
it out there.
and then those initials, I've got 5 different characters, and with those characters, I have 8 clues. Except one of them, I only have 7 because I couldn't think of any more.
How dare you, dude?
Couldn't think of any more. But I have 5 characters with 8 clues that Mike has to guess with the initials MM. And I think there's some easy ones that you can get, or an easy one at least.
Yeah.
But so let's get right into it. Let's go into the first one.
Okay, go ahead.
The first clue has many forms. Okay.
Forms is a weird
Okay.
way to put it. Okay.
The second clue is featured in a game in my top 50.
Is Spider-Man in your top 50?
Spider-Man, that's SM, not MM.
I know, but Miles Morales is in Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
So
Should we do it where if you guess, you fail that one? I think we should.
I don't know, because then it's just I always need to hear all 8 clues. So go ahead.
Okay. Is featured in a game we talked about on this episode, actually. No cheating.
What do you mean?
No cheating. Put that down.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Okay, do you?
Keep going.
You want to hear one more clue?
Yeah.
Featured in a game that's in your top 10, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. So there's no point system here, right? Why should I not just hear all 8 clues?
I guess there is no point system. It's better. You perform better if you get in less clues. We'll just go
Okay.
with that. It's just for your own ego.
Okay. So
4 clues.
Mega Man.
Mega Man. It is Mega Man. The remaining 4 clues are 5th clue, first appeared in 1987.
Okay.
The 6th clue, latest appearance was this year. 7th clue is Blue. 8th clue, Robot.
Okay.
Obviously. Pretty easy. This next one, first clue, available in 3D. This one's a little harder. Want the second clue?
Available in 3D.
You think you can snipe it on clue? We won't make it where you lose, but if you think you can snipe it on clue 1.
What is usually 2D? That's available in 3D.
That's a phone.
My phone's vibrating. Let's throw it on the floor.
Second clue?
Go ahead.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Elf. What else is Will Ferrell in? Why am I gonna blank on Will Ferrell movies? Okay.
Third clue.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Pitt.
What movie is Will Ferrell
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep making noise for the audio listeners, and I think their phone went off.
Yeah.
Fourth clue. Blue.
Blue.
Just a little bit of crossover. A little bit of crossover with the clues from the first person.
Brad Pitt.
Blue.
Available in 3D.
Yep. There you go.
Okay.
Fifth clue. The dynamic character.
A dynamic, as in like, we talk about static and dynamic characters.
I'm not giving you any more clues past my clues.
Well, I'm just mean from like
for yourself,
an
announcing
English perspective.
Yeah, announcing to yourself. Sixth clue. Animated.
What animated movie is Will Ferrell in? What?
Keep in mind the initials.
Yeah.
I'm gonna repeat them for you. MM.
Go ahead.
Seventh clue. Jonah Hill. This one's a little harder.
Come on, bro. Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill. It's got to be Moneyball.
If you don't get it on this eighth clue, it's got to be what?
Nothing.
Okay.
It was a Moneyball joke.
Okay. If you don't get it on this last clue, I don't know. Big head.
Oh, okay. Megamind.
It's Megamind.
I could not have told you that Brad Pitt was in that movie.
Yeah, he plays like the second. What's his name?
The hero guy.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is, but yeah. I for each of these I like looked up like facts, and I was like,
okay.
But I was trying. Anytime you look up like this thing and facts, you always get like top 10 facts you didn't know, and I'm like, I want them to know.
I want the top 10 facts I did know.
That you do know, yeah, you know.
Okay, that one was hard. I couldn't think of a movie that they were in together.
Now this next one's a little harder.
What was that available in 3D?
Because that's like one of the big things. It was like when you look at the movie poster on Google Images, all the first ones that pop up is available in 3D.
Okay.
So that's why I put that.
Okay.
So this next one, first clue, Danish.
Are these all like people, whether they're real or fake? There's no like places or
no.
Okay.
They can be like as part of the game. They can be, but all of mine are people or
I'll remember that for next time.
Real or fake.
Danish. Okay.
2, Strange Doctor.
2, Strange Doctor.
That's the clue 2.
Oh,
not 2 Strange Doctor, just Strange Doctor. 3. They're an actor.
Okay. See, I hate that you said Strange Doctor. Because Benedict Cumberbatch is certainly not an MM.
No, he's a BC.
Yeah, BC.
4th clue. Rogue One.
Rogue One. Okay, hold on. What was clue 3?
Actor
in Rogue One.
Strange Doctor and Danish as well.
Okay.
Number 5. Featured in a movie that Salvador and I watched this year on Tubi.
What movie did y'all watch on Tubi?
Do you not remember this event? When me and Sal watched a movie that was only available on Tubi? There was so many ads. In the middle of a very intense scene. I don't want to hear about Olive Garden, but we had to deal with it. 6th clue. They're in a game that came out last year.
Game that came out last year. It doesn't help me if I don't know what they are.
7th clue. Mailman Simulator.
It's not Norman Reedus.
Not Norman Reedus.
What? Who else is in that game?
Do you want the final clue?
Yeah, of course you do.
They won the Game Award for Best Performance last year.
Oh my god.
And you don't know?
Hold on.
You still don't know? That's like a lock-in. Danish. Strange Doctor. Actor, you got it? Rogue One. Featured in a movie Sal and I watched this year on the prominent streaming service Tubi. They're in a game that came out last year. Mailman Simulator. And they won the Game Award for Best Performance last year.
I'm going to feel so dumb when you say it.
Are you going to you're giving up? I'm going to give you a countdown. 10.
Marilyn Monroe.
No. It's Mads Mikkelsen. You don't know Mads Mikkelsen?
Nope.
You don't know that name?
Nope.
Okay, well maybe you don't feel as much of an idiot
I
then.
do not, because I
But
would have never guessed that.
I can't believe you don't know that person.
No, I don't.
Damn, they're in.
Is it Mads with 2 Ds?
No, just one.
Oh.
Just
So
one.
just MADS?
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen. I
What a
can't
cool
believe.
name.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he's in Doctor Strange. He's in Rogue One. And he's Danish. And he's in the movie
Yeah, what was the Tubi movie?
The Hunt or Hunter. He plays like
I would have never got
he
that
plays
at all.
he plays like a he plays like a dude who is a school teacher, like a substitute teacher, and like a little girl. This is gonna sound really bad. Like accuses him of some like sexual assault that like he didn't do,
Yeah.
and then the entire town, because it's like a town of like 300 people, all turn on him, and it's like a movie about that.
Okay.
It's really intense, especially when you keep getting interrupted by Olive Garden commercials. Okay, on to the fourth character.
Okay.
Clue number 1. Old.
Okay.
Clue number 2. Mentor.
Tour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Clue number 3. They're in movies.
Okay.
Clue number 4. They're a he. A him.
It's a guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't get it on this fifth one. Clue number 5. Karate.
Okay. You said they're in movies.
Well, featured in movies.
Is it a character?
Yeah.
And okay, Mr. Miyagi.
It's Mr. Miyagi.
Okay, because I was really worried that you wanted an actor's name.
No.
Okay.
No, I have no idea who. I have no idea.
You-
The remaining clues, number 6 and number 7, were wax and then on and off. I couldn't think of any more for Mr. Miyagi. I couldn't do it.
Bonsai.
So you have one more character here. The fifth character.
Let's watch Karate Kid after this.
Clue number 1, red.
Okay.
Clue number 2, featured in a game.
Okay.
Clue number 3, featured in a game in my top 50.
Okay.
Clue number 4, iconic.
What kind of clues are these?
Clue number 5, featured in a game in your top 10.
Is this another Smash character? Oh my god.
Clue number 6, featured in a game that came out this year.
You know, I have an answer, but I don't know if you would like actually do this.
Clue number 7.
I almost want to stop you. And
Okay,
get it
stop
before a
him.
very blatant clue.
Okay. Number 6.
Because you've used the top 50 and top 10 thing before,
I have.
and it clearly means Smash.
Does
Mhm,
that mean
yeah.
that?
Now you wouldn't use Mario
Would I?
for this game, would you?
Would I?
So let's hear clue 7.
Clue number 7, wears a hat. Clue number 8,
Give it to me.
jump.
Ah, so it is Mario Jumpman Mario.
Yep. If
I'll take it.
anyone who knows deep lore about Mario know that
His last
Nintendo
name.
has officially backed the fact that Mario's last name is Mario.
Yeah.
And so he is Mario Mario.
He's Mario Mario.
And the other one is Luigi Mario.
You know, I kind of knew after you said your top 50, but
Mhm.
I had to like be sure.
Be sure he didn't want to be like, oh, he's gonna snipe me with Mario.
You subverted
Mario.
expectations by not doing Miles Morales.
Miles Morales. Yeah, that wasn't even one I thought of.
Really?
Which is crazy. Yeah.
That's the first thing I saw when I saw MM.
Oh, that's what you thought.
Yeah.
So when you were like, oh, I
immediately.
got one already, and it was totally
Yeah.
not, which is
'Cause
good. Which is good, I guess. But there you go. That's initials trivia. Don't say you like that game because that I made it, because go over there on the Better Quest episode on MinMax, and I can't remember his name, but he made it. I want to give him full credit. I wish I remembered his name. I will try to remember it and put it in here.
Shame.
We will probably play it again because it is very fun.
Yes.
I do like it.
I
It's
did
cool.
too.
It's very fun.
I'll have
And
to come up with one.
I'm
one
glad
for next week.
you got them all, even though you didn't get Mads
I didn't
Mikkelsen,
get mad,
but
I would have never.
to be fair, yeah, you didn't know who Mads Mikkelsen was. I thought you would have knew for sure. He felt like a shoo-in.
Nah,
But that
I'm a
is
fake
it
gamer.
for the game. Let's get into reader mail. You can get your questions read as well on the show by sending an email into synceduppod@gmail.com, just like Fielding Dahmer did, who writes in and says, hey guys, another burp. That's 2 burps. I should have
Two in
ate right
one.
before the show. That's what happened.
True.
That's what happened. Happy to report that I got a win in Warzone using the Turtle class. Now, listen, Fielding. I'm not going to call you a liar because you're our fan. I'm going to believe you on this one. I'm going to trust you because I trust you with my life. Because We're on a first name basis. I don't know if this is your real first name. I feel like we are. I feel like we got a connection now that you built the class and you apparently got a 1 with it. I'm gonna believe you on this one, and you're officially cemented in MLG legend status. My question this week is this: which Pokemon has the most swag?
Okay.
Like they have their cool stat cranked up to the max, a la Cyberpunk. My first thought was Greninja. He's just got that inexplicable swag factor. Love the show. Keep it up, Fielding. So this is more of a question for you. You are more familiar with Pokemon.
Answers. I was very curious to see what your answers would be.
So if I let me try to think of a Pokemon that's cool. I think Lucario is cool.
Yeah.
I think he's a very cool Pokemon.
He's cool, but does he have swag?
I don't know if he has swag, but he does say they're cool stat cranked up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Zoror, he's the one who could talk like a human. He's
the one that like transforms.
Yeah, but what's the legendary Pokemon that can talk? Isn't that like Zoroark or something?
He's not a legendary.
Oh, but can't he talk?
Yeah, maybe.
Can't he talk? In like the game, like you go and talk to a kid and he talks to you, and then he turns into like a Zoror and runs away. In one of the games,
that might be true. I don't remember.
You gotta like play a flute or some shit next to like a log. I can't, dude. I don't know.
I mean, you could totally be right, but I don't.
I have no idea. He seems pretty cool.
I had some choices. Trico and Grovyle.
Yep, they're cool.
They have a little swagger to them.
Who's the new guy that looks like an emo kid when he's on his 3rd evolution? The starter.
Reboot. The evolution of not Cinderace, of Scorbunny, and then you also have. I just want to let the people know the image I just saw.
Yeah. Okay.
Noah walked in the door, and right in his mouth.
He had a cup in his mouth.
Like a cup.
But he was holding it
on top of the mouth.
From the bottom.
That was honestly excellent. Thank you for that.
I wish we had a reverse camera.
I know. I wish we could have showed you that.
Wow.
Reboot. Is the name of that character. What's another one? Oh, Bisharp. Do you remember Bisharp?
No, I have no.
He's like a metal dark type Pokemon. He's pretty cool. I think he's got swag to him too.
You know who has swag?
Red?
Yeah. No, I was thinking of a Pokemon, but then I thought of an image of them in my head, and I was like, never mind. Because I was like, Sableye, but no, he has no swag. He's just
almost like any Pokemon on Cynthia's team as well, which includes like Lucario, Garchomp. That Blaziken doesn't have swag.
He's just badass. I don't know if Blaziken has swag.
That's not swag.
I don't know. Yeah.
Nah, I think Sceptile has more swag than Blaziken.
Yeah, Sceptile is pretty good. I don't know.
It's got that like silent swag to it.
Yeah.
Which that's what I envision in my head.
Who knows?
So there you go. Do with that information as you will. I don't want to know what you're gonna do with it, but
yeah, there you go.
I hope it helps.
Thank you for writing in again, Fielding. We appreciate you reporting back. I was low-key 50-50. Like, will Fielding come back and let us know?
It was pretty last minute.
Yeah,
but
it was. And then I was also thinking to myself, you know, will he come back because he's not that dedicated to the show, or will he not come back because he's pissed that the class I made him was atrocious? And he came back. You came back. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening to the show, Fielding.
Yes, sir.
We hope to hear from you more. We really do. On to this next email. Dude, the burps this week are atrocious.
Atrocious. Come on.
From Spencer Trevette, another new person, new face we're seeing in the email chain. I want y'all to know we got all these emails from people we didn't know this week. From Spencer, Fielding last week, and then another one coming up.
Honestly, thanks to Fielding, because if Fielding didn't do it,
maybe these people
wouldn't have been like, oh my god, our first person who's not a friend.
Exactly. So. And now people are writing in, and we very much appreciate it so much. So Spencer Trevette writes in. He says, "Hey guys, I just gave you a listen as suggested by MinMax, and instantly fell in love with the banter and topics of discussion.
Understandable.
You have made it to my prestigious quote weekly listen categorization in my podcast app. Not many make the cut. All that said, I'm expecting soon and have been saving up all my money unless I'm paying bills. My wishlist backlog has grown immensely in this time, but for Cyber Monday, I caved in after months of non-frivolous spending and bought Hades. It is a phenomenal game, and I wish I bought it during its hype peak. What are your tips on budgeting for the newest games and dealing with FOMO? Also, how do you stay hyped for a game even after it has been out for quite some time? I've missed many a game in my years, but now there are some where it just seems too late to jump into, i.e. Red Dead 2. Thank you, Spencer." Now, Spencer, I got a couple of things to say here. First and foremost, Hades is a great game. I'm very glad that you purchased it.
Agreed.
Mike's game of the year, not my personal game of the year, but I do think it resides in the top 5 or close. It is incredible. So I'm glad you're finally playing that, and I'm hoping you're enjoying your time with that. I don't know what you bought it on. I think it runs great for the Switch. And if you say you're expecting, I assume you mean you're expecting a child. Then the Switch is the perfect console for the dads, and you might consider it. Or if you already have it and you bought that on there, congratulations. But so, what are your tips on budgeting for the newest games and dealing with FOMO? Man, this question really strikes home with me because FOMO, as all of my friends know, anyone watching the show, that's my friend and Mike, FOMO. I have a serious problem with FOMO in all aspects of my life. Now, the way I deal with FOMO is I just don't. I do all the things.
He does.
I will stay up late. I will neglect responsibilities to not have to miss out on anything. I will go to bed because I have work in the morning and hear an interesting conversation from the other room and get back up to go join that conversation. I don't mess around with FOMO. So dealing with FOMO, that's not really a question I can answer because I don't deal with it.
I kind of can. For a while, I skipped a whole gen of console gaming pretty much. I didn't have an Xbox One. I didn't have a PS4.
Just the Nintendo side of things.
Yeah, just the Switch. And honestly, I wouldn't have even had the Switch.
Yep.
Tim bought that. I would have got it eventually, but...
I did buy it for your birthday, I think.
It was my birthday. What a good day.
It was.
But I've had to deal with FOMO for a while, and honestly, it's just a kind of not a mental state, but a mentality. I guess, where it's like I usually only play games that I want to play because I want to play them. That's why I'm not super excited for Cyberpunk, even though it's the most hype game right now.
Of course, yeah.
It just doesn't get me going, so I don't delve too much into the hype for it. I kind of just feed into what my own hype is. Like when something like Dragon Quest 11 came out on Switch, nobody else around me cared for it, and nobody I talked to cared for it. But I was excited about it because it looked.
I tried.
It was right up my alley.
I played an hour of it in a PAX line.
I don't know how you did either. I know that game's not your game.
No.
And so it's just a lot of, I think, understanding what games you like and what games you really want to play, not based on what other people are doing. And so it's just kind of a mentality you have to build into. Is just playing games because you want to play them.
And obviously...
not because they're popular or new.
Yeah, obviously this budgeting question is also a question that I can't personally answer as well because I am very fortunate and blessed to have a good job where I can't afford pretty much the majority of games. And I have a deal worked out with Chance, so the family console thing, so I pay half price for Xbox games. And we live in a household with a bunch of people who are all gamers. So, for example, Hyrule Warriors, I didn't have to buy it. I just borrow it from Mike because he bought it and vice versa, and it works all the different ways.
I mean, I can kind of speak to this too. It always came for me... which I don't think is a good mentality, but I would usually get games that had longer play times, so I could get the most enjoyment out of them. Yeah, that's why I think some of my favorite games have always been Pokemon, because you can play those games for hundreds of hours.
Yeah, you can get as much enjoyment as you want.
So if you're just looking if you have a list of games to play, and you're like, well, I only have $60 to spend on a game, it might not be an idea to just figure out which one has a lot of playtime in it, and then go for that one. I don't think it's smart to pay $60 for an 8-hour game. Yeah. If that'll be the only game you can play this month.
The way I always break it down is, depending on what your job is, I don't know what your job is, but I've always broke it down personally for, based on my hourly wage, and the amount of time that you'll get out of it. So let's say the game is 10 hours. I'm like, do I think, the game is worth working this many hours to pay for it for that many hours out of return? And that's usually how I break it down. Now, nowadays that I got the podcast, I tend to spend a ton of money on games, on way more games than I ever have before, because obviously I want to make content. I want to keep up to date with all this stuff for the people who are watching and listening, like you. I combine those words, watching. And so I pretty much buy as much as I can. And we're not on the level of getting review codes and stuff, so I have to pay out of pocket for that stuff. But that's definitely whatever you want to play. And I would actually ask you next week if you would like to write in with some of the games that are on your backlog, and we might be able to parse through those and based on our
thoughts.
Based on our opinions, what we think are ones that you should prioritize. Now, staying hyped for a game even after it has been out for quite some time. Now, that's something I very much struggle with. All of my friends know I max out on hype levels or intense, the passion or being into something, and I hit a point where I fall off very hard. For example, I just stopped playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and that I will probably never go back to that game. Not because I don't think that game is good. I actually think that game is great. It's in my top 5 games of the year. It might be in my top 50 of all time. I think it's a fantastic game. It's just the way I operate. I have a very hard time going back. Once the hype cycle is over, once the fire has been put out, and I always use that for a quick tangent. I'm agnostic now. I don't go to church or anything. But back in the day, I used to go to church all the time. And my youth pastor used to say this thing about going to church and about like loving God and all that stuff. That if you wanted to keep your relationship with God good, you would stoke the fire, stoke the flames of your spirit or whatever. So you would always go to church. You would always do church stuff, right? And I've applied that kind of mentality to the way I am with video games. Is once I stop playing that game and I break off and go to a different one, it's like that fire for that game for me has been put out. And so I just have a very, very hard time going back. So for me, this is something I also struggle with. And I don't know, man. I don't know how you deal with this.
I've watched him play games for over 2 years now. And he won't go back to
I just drop it.
I have that problem sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm better at being able to manage playing like 4 games at a time.
And I cannot.
It is tough, mostly because of the controls.
Oh yeah, that
switching between Hyrule and Valhalla, where light and strong attack on X and Y, and then when you switch, they're on RT and R1, and so it's, I don't know, man. Managing hype is hard.
It is very hard.
Or staying hyped for a game that you're not playing or won't play for a year.
It takes something to get me rehyped. Like for Call of Duty, I'll fall off, and then all of a sudden, Chance Tanner and a bunch of my other friends are like, "Hey, we're playing COD," and I'm like, "All right, I'll play a game with y'all." Then I'm back in, and I'm playing for like a week straight, and that's all I'm doing. Or I kind of fell off of chess puzzles, right? And then this big chess explosion happened on Twitch, and now all of a sudden I'm buying chess premium, and I'm back in, and I'm going hard again. Yeah. And that just is. It takes something to get me back, and dealing with hype is difficult. I think that's
for everybody. Like I'll do the same thing. I'll get into Pokemon when I start watching a couple of Pokemon streams or something like that. I think if you have a list of things you want to get into, watch a couple videos of like each game, like a before you buy or something like that for each game, because that'll kind of like
top 5 things you should know.
Watch some streams or something, and then once you're like, okay, I'm in on this, you'll have that hype level because you've been watching it for a couple days. Yeah. Because most of these games, somebody's always going to be playing it on Switch.
Yeah.
On Twitch. There's always going to be videos.
There's always someone to talk to. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So just find people who are also playing that game or into that community that you're thinking about getting into, and connect with them and find out if that's what you want to do. I think that's the easiest way to get back into something.
Yeah. I also agree on that front. And on the there are some where it seems too late to jump in, i.e. Red Dead 2. There's another burp. I'm sorry. I would just say, I don't think it's ever too late to jump into a game. I very much only jump into new stuff because that's just how I operate. But, there's still games that I might eventually get back to, like Death Stranding and stuff.
Or Mega Man Battle Network.
During those lulls where you go back and you play some old stuff. I don't think it's ever too late to jump into a game. Like Red Dead 2.
It can be harder if things are spoiled for you, but if you've kept spoiler free away from like Red Dead 2 and you don't know a lot of the story, it can still be good. I think that's why I have a hard time with Last of Us 2. It's because I know pretty much the whole story beats of the game, and I mean the combat itself is already, or like the gameplay is already like mid for me, to where I'm not like, that's not the reason I want to play it. And since the story is also kind of spoiled for me, I just don't want to go back and play it. Yeah. And so that can be hard, but if you don't have these games spoiled for you, I think that could still be a really enjoyable experience 2-3 years down the line.
Yeah. So there you go. And I will
That was a long answer.
Yeah, that was a long answer to your very good question.
Yeah, very good
that
question.
was a solid email. We very much appreciate you. And I did see your other email, but we figured we'd go pretty hard on this email, and we did. So we will either include it next week or the week after, depending on if you write in again with your backlog. We want to go through. Maybe we'll do both. Who knows? Depends on what the emails are doing. But this next email is from Lyle. He says, "Hi Tim and Mike. I was surprised to hear that the email from episode 40 was your first non-friend email, as your podcast is seriously good quality. Here's my question for the show. As I'm a new listener who discovered you via MinMax, can you tell me a bit about yourselves and what kind of games do you like? Thanks, and keep up the great work. Lyle from Melbourne, Australia." So first, I would like to say, super cool to someone from Australia listen to our show. Yeah, and honestly, diversity. Mike came walking into the living room, was like, "Bro, did you see this email?" And he showed it to me, and he was like, "Dude, it's like this weird fuzzy feeling, like this really good weird feeling that we're getting of like
I'm people that we with somebody in Australia.
Yeah, that we don't know, we have no association with, that is halfway across the globe, felt strongly enough about our show to write in and hear what we had to say about something."
I mean,
that
and this goes for everybody. Every time I see an email, it kind of lights me up. Like,
yeah. And I'm sure
it's exciting.
I'm sure that feeling will go away maybe if we get super big and people are emailing all the time. But right now, getting these emails really, lights up my day, and it's kind of like, oh, every time it pops up on my phone, the little Google notification, and I click it and I read the email, and I'm just at work. I could be in a bad mood, and it just makes me in such a better mood automatically. So
I will say this question in particular, I just never realized we've never ever talked about ourselves on the podcast. We've talked about the games we played, but that's it.
The top 5 games, we did top 5 games a while ago in the podcast
that was
feed.
Like episode 3 or
and
something.
We should honestly re-up that because that was bad audio quality. It's only in the audio feed. I think we should redo that at some point. Our top 5
give
games.
it a whole year.
We're almost there.
I know. That's what I'm just saying.
We're almost. And there's all these new listeners that haven't heard it, but we'll go over some of that stuff right now. So let's start with the games we like before we talk about ourselves. Okay, the games that we like.
Okay.
So if you have the GG app, you can go on the GG app and go to @Timmy. I'm over there @Timmy. I don't know how I snagged that tag.
Early adopter.
Yeah, I was an early adopter. You can see my top 50 games of all time. There's currently only 42 games in there. That's a public list. If you want a very specific rundown of all the games that I like, all the games I played in 2020, the top 10 games I played in 2020, you can get all that there. But I like a plethora of games. I think it's better to answer this question for me in the type of games I don't like, because
and that might also be the same answer for what I do like. Yeah,
because I like so many types of games. Games that I don't like, JRPGs.
Love them.
Typically. See, this is why we're good. This is why this podcast is great. JRPGs typically. So I've tried them, and I've given like solid tries to a lot of them, and I just can't do it. I Fire Emblem Awakening, I put several hours into. Both the Ni no Kuni games, I put 20 plus hours into. I played a little bit of Dragon Quest 11. I put 15 hours into Dragon Quest Builders. I understand that's a little different. I've tried the Final Fantasy games back in the day. Final Fantasy 7 Remake, my favorite game of all time now. That's obviously technically a JRPG. But in the traditional sense, I don't really like it. The Pokemon games are sometimes an exception. This most recent one I very much did not like, but Let's Go I put 50 hours into. Black and White 2 I put a ton of hours into. Leaf Green, one of my top 50 games of all time. So I don't like that. Racing games I can dig. I typically don't like them. I typically don't like racing games, but Forza Horizon 4 I think is a fantastic game. MOBAs, that's like League of Legends and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like sometimes I do. Like I played Jordan, Paragon. Me and Jordan played the hell out of Paragon.
But would you ever play a MOBA game by yourself?
MOBA by myself? I played Paragon by myself a lot too. Okay. Because me and Jordan didn't play together. Like we were
just playing at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I would play and then pass off, and that game's incredible, super good. But that's not a traditional MOBA. So I guess games like League or games like what's the Steam one? Dota 2. Yeah. Don't really like those.
What's the Blizzard one?
That's
Here's of the Storm.
Here's of the Storm. I don't really like MOBAs, and then I typically don't like RTSs, but there have been some exceptions.
Yeah.
Because I guess Civ is not really an RTS, but those are the games I don't like. But in terms of all the other genres, like I like them. I've played like XCOM.
You'll play and try about anything.
Yeah, yes, I will play and try about anything. And even in the genres I don't like, most of the time I will still at least try the game, even though typically I won't come out the other side liking it. It's one of those things where I know how much people love these. I know how much people like these. That's like the Dragon Quest. The reason I even played an hour of it, because I was like, dude, Mike loves this fucking game, but I just can't get into it. But those are the games I don't like, and you can. I mean, there's a broad arrangement of games that I do like from wide genres. A CRPG, what's the one that came out? Disco Elysium, one of my favorite games of all time. The Dark Souls franchise is one of my favorite franchises. I love the Zelda games. I love the Mario games. I love the Battlefield games and FPS shooters. Typically, I got a lot of stuff. But what about you?
Mine's a lot more simple. I do like a. There's a lot of games from genres I usually don't like that end up surprising me these days. But my core games are usually JRPGs. So anything, I mean, you can count Pokemon, Persona 5, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, just some of the more recent ones, Dragon Quest 11. Games like those.
Dragon Quest 11S, Echoes of an Elusive Age.
That are like 80 hours long that I could just sink myself into and my time into and enjoy. Then you have stuff like
Hades. You like in Hades?
Yeah, I was gonna say roguelites. I like Hades, Darkest Dungeon, Dead Cells, Slay the Spire. Just ones off the side of my head.
Couldn't get into Binding of Isaac though.
I couldn't, and I think it's just because I didn't like the what do you call it? Not assets. what's the word?
Art style.
Yeah, the art style and also like just the lore.
Yeah.
I just didn't care for it.
Yeah.
And just, but most of the time I like those types of games. But there's not many games I don't like. I will say there's like some glaring ones that people don't understand. Like I don't like Witcher. I can't explain it. I wasn't big into Skyrim.
Chance doesn't either. Wasn't big into Skyrim.
Well, here's the thing. I played a lot of Skyrim,
podcast.
but it's not like in my head. It's not like this huge game that everybody else has it out to be.
It is,
I'm like,
though.
I know, I get that. It just wasn't for me. I put like 30 hours into it at the end of the day. I know people put hundreds into it. Like don't act like I don't know. I know.
I think Jack said something like 1,000 plus. Yeah.
And then the other thing, probably like almost any Nintendo title, I'll give a shot.
You are a Nintendo.
So many of them are so bad. Specifically, Yoshi's Crafted World.
Mm-hmm. Could not get through that game, man. I don't know if it was bad, but it was just definitely developed for 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it just wasn't for me.
I just shouldn't be so addicted to them.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest franchises are definitely just Pokemon.
Mario.
I've sunk so many hours into Pokemon, Mario. There's very few Mario games I haven't played at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a good idea of where I am. But I'll play almost anything too.
Yep. All right. Those are the games we like. What about talk about yourself? I know we're running a little long, but I want to.
Long episode. It's good.
This is. I really like these
Dude,
emails.
I don't know.
Go in. So top 5 facts about yourself.
Dude, on and off college student. Searching for that computer science degree. Let's see here. Spend a lot of time with my friends.
It's hard talking about yourself, ain't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
I love being around my friends. Kylie and my family. My family's halfway across the country,
United States,
but I have all my friends next to me, and
the family you choose, as they say.
And so that keeps me together pretty good.
Mm-hmm. There's 7 of us in this house. Yeah. Do we live together? We're all 22, 23, 24 range. Youngins.
I was a musician for a while.
You were?
Was very into percussion, drum set, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a pretty good understanding of music and what it takes for it to be good music, and I can kind of point out things.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I don't know. I love card games, Pokemon, Magic,
trading card games.
Played Dragon Ball for a while.
Those are our fortes.
I think that's really about it, man.
Yeah.
There's probably interesting stuff about me, but
100%.
not interesting enough for me to remember. So
yeah, I don't know. For me personally, I'm not an enigma in any sense. Like I'm not like anyone who knows me personally knows everything that there is to know about me, what I like, every little embarrassing detail, everything. I'm a very open person. But I would consider myself somewhat like silly putty almost, in that I like change and flow over time like a lot. But there are some consistencies. Like I agree with the Mike on a lot of stuff here. Like I'm very much into card games. We play Dragon Ball, religiously.
Honestly,
the card game.
I think it's probably just critical thinking games,
Mm-hmm.
because you and me both like card games, which I think it's like a lot of thinking many moves ahead. Chess, most board games, it's all very like mind stimulating stuff.
Yeah, so. In terms of more surface level, non deep stuff, like I love board games. Just like Jeff Markey Fava, he's the Min Max board game guy. I'm very much into board games. There's a massive board game shelf that you can't see right here, and there's a smaller yet just as full board game shelf in the living room as well that you can't see. I have tons of board games. I'm the board game guy. People buy me board games all the time, and I continue to buy myself board games that I don't need, but we
need more shelves. Is what you need.
There's still, I got like 5 board games that are unopened over there. Like that's how many board games I have. I'm very into card games, very into chess, all that stuff. I'm very into music. I like hip hop and rap a lot. Yeah. So Spotify Wrapped was posting that recently in the group chat and whatnot.
Oh, I got one for me. Big Dragon Ball fan. I don't know how I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you are a big Dragon Ball fan.
Absolutely love Dragon Ball. So
yeah,
if you ever want to talk Dragon Ball with me, I'm down.
He's down. But I'm into movies. I'm super into movies. I got a list. I'm super into lists, actually. I got lists for everything. Catch me on GG app. If anyone could get a hold of my iPhone and get into my notes, they will see just lists. Just so many lists. Top 5 this, top 5 that, top 20 this, top 20 that. So many lists. All the shows I watched in 2020, all the board games I played, movies I watched. Jesus, I have lists for pretty much everything. That's pretty much all the stuff that I can think of.
It kind of hurts, don't you? Because you're like, am I that simple?
Yeah,
I
like
only like 3 things.
Like I feel like I'm deeper than that, but you're trying to portray it, I guess, to people who don't know us. And I'm also with Mike here. I very much love my friends, to the highest to the highest degree.
We
I
also
sacrifice a lot for them.
We also do our own things. Tim has his rap career.
Oh yeah, I do. Oh yeah, shit. How did I not even think of that? Yeah, if you are into hip hop and rap, you can go. Now, be forewarned. There's explicit content. I know
thought you were gonna say garbage.
No, there is some garbage on there. There is some garbage. If you scroll back a long time, I've been rapping for about 5 years. I think we dropped an album back in April, or was it May? See, I don't even know. I've got like 20 to 40,000 plays in the past 2 years. So like people listen to my stuff, and I think it's good. But if you're into hip hop and rap and you're fine with explicit stuff and explicit content, you can go over to a rapper named Tim.
You cuss on this, right?
Yeah, but nowhere near as much as I do in the rap.
Well, true.
Yeah. So you can go to a rapper named Tim on Spotify and listen to my music. But I am forewarning you, it is extremely explicit. But I do think it's good, and I like doing it. I'm very into the music. A lot of my friends have started rapping because of me getting into that, and then being able to use my stuff, and me really doing all the mixing and the mastering and doing all of that stuff. I'm super into that. And we actually I think we have more songs that, I don't know, I think they're just coming out on SoundCloud, but I don't know. I make so much music all the time that, well, not recently. This year I'm lax on it, but we used to make so much stuff. But
and then I've recently gotten involved with a group called 5-9 Gaming.
Oh yeah, Mike's over there doing stuff.
And I'm helping them grow the console side of their brand. They're kind of relatively small right now, not compared to us. They have like 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, and they've only been around for 2 months, so way better than we are. But I'm helping them grow their brand over there, and I'm learning how to do a lot of things. Like today, I had to on the spot host a video that I didn't expect to be hosting.
Yep, but you were there doing it.
Yeah, and it's growing my skills to banter and talk with people, and I'm getting introduced to different people. It's very interesting stuff. So I don't know. We can talk if you ever have specific questions all day. But when you give us such loose-ended questions, we don't know what to talk about. So.
Yeah, I guess it's hard. If you got specific questions about us, Lyle, write them in, because we will read it on the show. Now, we have an email from Trey. We're going to hold that till next week because we are going long. Don't worry, Trey. We got more of your questions locked in here.
I'll give him a little preview.
A little preview?
Haptic feedback.
That's your preview. No one knows the question, but haptic feedback. So we're going to skip that now. We're going to speed run through the games that we've been playing. This is what you've been playing section, the section of the podcast where we go over the games that we've been playing. Speed run. I played a little bit of Cold War. Actually, not a little bit. I played a lot of it. I played a lot of Cold War. Me and Mike and Chance and Tanner and the gang.
I crashed 9 times.
Oh, dude. Okay, that is one problem with Cold War. That game crashes so much. But aside from that game's super fun. And also super
fun with your friends.
Super enraging sometimes. Oh, yeah. Obviously, I played
needs an update.
Immortals Fenyx Rising. Talked about that early in the show. And I got the Platinum Trophy for Demon Souls, something I didn't think I was going to do. I told myself I'm not going to do it. There's too many games to play. And then I fucking did it. So
I'm proud of you.
Got the Platinum for Demon Souls. Incredible game. Third best game this year, unless Cyberpunk overtakes it and Miles Morales also has a chance to do so. What have you been playing?
Obviously, like I said, COD. Spent about half the time in, actually playing the game. The other half in lobby waiting for my friends to finish because I crashed 9 times.
Yeah.
And then I've also been playing Valhalla. Been swinging axes and swords and shields, and game's still good.
Yep. There you go. And that's it for the show this week. I know it was a little long, hour 15 almost.
Oh, God.
We apologize for that. The reason it was so long is because we had people write in with wonderful, wonderful questions. Wonderful, wonderful people write in as well. If you want your emails read on the show, just email them to synceduppod@gmail.com. And we don't get that many, so we will most likely read your email on the show unless it's egregious, which I doubt it will be because we love you all very much. And you are showing us much love on the YouTube side, the audio side, everything. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, do all that. It really helps us. Share it with your friends. Word of mouth really helps us at this point. Our min-max promotion is over, so we're not getting people from that. And also, if you're like on Apple Podcasts, do the 5-star rating, do all that stuff. Please, that helps.
Share with your friends.
Very much. But that's it for the show this week. I hope you liked it. Get ready for us to talk about the Game Awards and Cyberpunk next week.
Next week.
And anything that comes out. The new Nintendo controversy, whatever it may be. But until then, we will see you all next week.
Goodbye.